Tonight, Nyrstar officially opens its multi-million-dollar smelter transformation. And he saved the Whyalla Steelworks. Now could Sanjeev Gupta save the state's car manufacturing industry?
This is Southern Cross News with Fraser Goldsworthy.
Good evening. Nyrstar's multi-million-dollar transformation in Port Pirie is officially complete, with the new plant now open for smelting. A new furnace is set to reduce the amount of lead and sulphur levels in the air.
A secure future and a new chapter in the history books of Port Pirie. Premier Jay Weatherill today announcing Port Pirie's smelter is now a centrepiece of Nyrstar's global operation, thanks to a $660 million redevelopment.
And this decision, this moment today, gives us an opportunity to realise that ambition for the future of this town and this region.
The Port Pirie redevelopment project is absolutely critical to Nyrstar's future.
Following the successful commencement of hot commissioning at the end of September last year, Port Pirie smelter is now leading the industry with state-of-the-art technology.
Moving to a fully enclosed TSL furnace design, which captures dust and sulphur dioxide emissions, will result in an improved environmental footprint and a step-change reduction in airborne metal and dust emissions.
The multi-million-dollar redevelopment has secured Port Pirie's future by ensuring Nyrstar remains as the town's major employer.
2,500 people rely upon this smelter for their prosperity, for jobs for their families, putting meals on the table at home.
Workers in this plant here have always been very resilient, very passionate, very loyal, and this is what makes Port Pirie unique.
Today's announcement, another example of how the city is changing.
We are transforming, the city has transformed, our community has transformed. We have faith, we have confidence.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
The benefits of sealing one of the state's most important outback freight roads has been revealed in a report today in front of the Premier and the region's member for Grey. Regional Development Far North and the Outback Communities Authority launched the report in Corn. The 500-kilometre Queensland to SA road is rough and often closed for days during heavy rain. The report details that if sealed, the Strzelecki track would operate in all weather and support economic growth in the region. The billionaire owner of the Whyalla Steelworks is reportedly looking to build electric cars using resources from the old Holden site at Elizabeth. John Hunt has more.
Since buying the Australian assets of failed steelmaker Arium, Sanjeev Gupta has wasted no time in expanding his footprint. His next move is going back to the future, reviving the Aussie car industry using tools from one of its most iconic sites. The billionaire has reportedly approached Holden about purchasing assets from the company's now decommissioned factory at Elizabeth in Adelaide's north. His ambitious plan has been endorsed by a letter from State Treasurer Tom Koutsantonis, who has committed government support. The report suggests Mr Gupta is looking to build electric vehicles using ice stream technology, inspired by Formula One racing. The process involves a metallic frame to form a skeleton that's lightweight and reduces energy requirements. In Port Pirie today, Premier Jay Weatherill says the proposal would drive the state's economy forward.
The future belongs to those people that are prepared to actually take bold steps to back in these businesses that are prepared to create jobs for South Australia.
It's unclear at this stage where the cars would be built or the scale of production. The involvement of the Whyalla Steelworks in this plant is unknown, as it currently doesn't make products associated with vehicles. However, a transformation plan released last Christmas proposed a new rolling mill and other technology which could support vehicle manufacturing. A spokesperson for GFG Alliance declined to comment on the proposal today, but the report only further underlines the ambitions of Mr Gupta to make his mark in Australia.
John Hunt reporting there. A Broken Hill woman has been caught drink driving nearly 5 times the legal limit. The 36-year-old was pulled over in McCulloch Street Thursday evening after police received calls of a vehicle driving erratically. The woman was arrested for drink driving in a high range after she blew .230. 2 laptops and a haul of luxury jewellery has been stolen during a break-in in Port Lincoln. Sometime between 7 o'clock on Thursday night and 9 o'clock on Friday night, a home in McDonald Avenue was targeted. Items including Samantha Wills jewellery, a rose gold coloured laptop and a silver laptop were stolen. Police appealing for anyone with information to come forward. An Argentinian artist has been chosen to liven up Tumby Bay. Martin Ron has been tasked with painting the town's silo mural, which will cap off a street art festival.
Paint and art will soon splash the streets of Tumby Bay.
Pretty incredible year. It's going to be great for the town.
The small coastal town will join others across the state when international artist Martin Ron touches down to transform its silos.
He'll be in town for 2 weeks before he starts painting and learning a bit about the town, meeting the locals, and then he'll decide what he's going to paint. And then just as he finishes, we'll be straight into the street art weekends.
But it won't just be the silos receiving a makeover. Walls across Tumby will also receive a fresh lick of paint as part of an international street art festival.
Tumby Bay with the silo and the street art coming together for one big project is going to be a great attraction for people to come from near and far.
The concept formed by a group of locals with universal dreams.
There's international, there's national and there's some local artists all getting involved, and I think that's going to be exciting for us as locals to see some of that art coming together.
We've got James Pedler from Cummins, who's a very passionate street artist in his own right. I'm sure he's very excited.
With the popularity of street art on the rise, the hope is Tumby Bay will join the growing list of must-visit tourist hotspots on the EP.
The more benefits for the town you have, the better it is. I think we hadn't even imagined the street art festival until we started discussing the silos.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
After the break, the Rally of the Rangers set to roar through Corn. The details next. The professor who led a study into the amount of lead found in Broken Hill bees says local honey is in fact safe to eat. The research revealed the concentration of lead in local honey was 10 times more than honey produced in Sydney. He says the amount of lead concentration is still very low and the risk is low. Whyalla Council has appointed a design consultant to oversee the construction of its new multi-million-dollar jetty. The Mayor says employing local businesses for the project is Council's top priority.
It's almost been a year since Whyalla's jetty was closed to the public due to safety issues. Since then, Council has decided to demolish the ageing structure and rebuild, securing both a new design and state government funding. It's now turned the project over to consultants who'll steer it to completion.
We want to make sure we have the best design, probably the cheapest but the best design, and so by appointing the consultants, this is how we're managing the process.
Adelaide-based engineering firm Magrin and Associates has been selected. It'll be tasked with preparing a concept of the new structure, based on ideas from last year's public consultation. Their main task, however, will be to secure as much work for local businesses as possible.
And that's another reason for the consultants that we've appointed, so that we get that input from our local companies, our local businesses are involved in building.
A December opening is still the target. Council is confident the appointment of Magrin will not have an impact on that date.
We're very confident that the jetty will be built by Christmas. It'll be really good for the people of Whyalla, but also to bring tourism in. People will come and know about our jetty and want to fish off of it.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Excited rev heads in the region have secured an SA Championship Rally event to be held in the Flinders Ranges. The Rally of the Ranges will pass through Hawker and other outback areas while bringing hundreds to the finish line in Corn.
South Australia is no stranger to car racing rallies, but now one for our region has petrol heads revving their engines.
I've attended a few rallies and watched and quite enjoy it, so I'm really looking forward to seeing one in our own backyard.
Quorn has secured its first rally in years, an SA Championship event that'll see local car enthusiasts gearing up for a big weekend.
The Variety Club, the London to Sydney Marathon's been through, nothing based here. And the last main one was an Australian Rally Championship round in 76, so I wasn't even driving a car in 76.
Even, a few hundred rally attendees and supporters, that's a pretty big influx of people into our town over a weekend, so, they'll keep our hospitality and hopefully fuel businesses busy.
Pencilled in for the end of June, organisers expect the Rally of the Ranges will add to Quorn's tourism repertoire, the event alone attracting crowds of officials, competitors and their crews.
Although we have ones like Variety Club which do drive through, there's nothing based in Quorn.
The course will trace through Hawker, Station Roads and back to Quorn, with viewing areas along the way. The rally's sponsor expects the event to attract many motor enthusiasts.
Something that we miss in regional area. We don't get a lot of this excitement in a lot of motorsport specifically, so I think it's going to be very, very well received and should get some good crowds, I hope.
Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
Still to come tonight, music superstar Tim-O-Matic descends on the region. We'll speak to him next. Internationally renowned singer and dancer Tim-O-Matic will be bringing his high-energy live performances to the region. The Australia's Got Talent star says he's excited to entertain audiences who don't usually have the opportunities to experience big performances.
He's a multi-platform selling artist and is currently touring our region for his Do What You Want tour. Tim-O-Matic says a regional tour has always been on his wish list.
Music is so universal and everyone everywhere loves music. So any opportunity to share that and to have that moment, I'm up for.
The first leg of his tour will see him hit stages across Port Lincoln, Whyalla and Port Pirie, with the Divine Our Destiny crew set to open the show.
There's some crazy fans out there. You have to go and see the people. And so when the opportunity came for me, I was like, I jumped at it. You know what I mean?
Concert goers can expect an interactive performance with songs that have topped the music charts, as well as his hottest new tracks.
You're going to be part of the show. You're going to be up. You're going to leave feeling like, man, what was that? Was I dancing all night? That's what I'm going to bring.
We are dancing, DJing, singing, rapping, everything all together. Just have a big hyped up show.
The Do What You Want tour will take to the Port Pirie stage on Wednesday night. Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
The upcoming Broken Hill footy season will be 3 games shorter following an agreement between all 4 clubs. 2018 will see the regular season reduced from 18 games to 15, with the first round starting on an emotional day.
As Broken Hill's footy teams brave the heat on the pre-season track, off the field officials have been busy.
For probably 40 years now, we've had an 18-round season where the 4 sides play each other 6 times.
The feedback from West, South, North and Central at the end of the 2017 season was they wanted a change. Now clubs will play each other 5 times in a 15-game season.
It was an idea that was floated and the 4 local clubs fully supported it, which means we'll have a later start to the season.
The later start means round 1 will begin midway through April. Central and West A-grade squads get the special honour of playing on the day when we remember the Anzacs.
Anzac Day falls on a Wednesday, so West and Central both expressed a desire to play on that Wednesday. So that'll be the first part of round 1, and then on the Saturday, last year's grand finalists, North and South, will play.
Finals will be the same time of the year, with the grand final to be played on the first Saturday in September. And junior footy was a hot topic during the off-season, with plans to send away an under-15 representative side to play in Jamestown.
North Adelaide are looking at holding a carnival in Jamestown on the Queen's birthday weekend. We're very keen. We haven't had representative football at that level for quite a few years. They'll play like a round-robin Lightning Cup sort of format on the Monday and give them good exposure against players from other regions.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
And to local cricket now, and there was plenty happening in the leagues across the weekend, including 2020 action under lights in Port Lincoln. Jason Kemp joins us now with the details. Jace, there was some thrilling T20 cricket happening on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right, Fraser. There was plenty of big hits, spills and cricket action during the T20 Bash over the weekend. 6 sides competed, Southern Air going through undefeated. As the white ball got its first spell this summer, the lights were flicked on at Ravendale Oval. Port Lincoln cricket got its chance to shine during the T20 Bash. There was some big hitting, Tasman Cricket Club's top order wasting no time, Jack Bunder making short work of the long boundary. But he struggled to make a partnership, losing batsman to Todd River's bowling attack. Some great fielding from Todd River kept them in the game, including this spectacular run-out, sending Cole Semler back to the shed. Todd River missing some chances to keep the run chase down, some feeling the pressure of the moment. Bunder going on to score 77, enough to get Tasmans over the line. In the other matches, Southern Air went through the tournament undefeated, while Charlton and Lincoln South also notched up wins. Heading over to Port Pirie, Wanderers edging closer to top spot with a 6-wicket win over Solomon Town. Opening batsman Matt Thornton proving the difference with a ton to win the game. In Port Augusta, T20 action was also on the cards, with Corn winning 2 games to advance into the finals this week. Over in Whyalla, North defeated Rupina, and South had a huge win over South. In the Yorke Peninsula, there were wins for Wallaroo, Moonta and Butte, and finally in the northern areas, Ballali, Burra, Bollaroo and Melrose all notched up points for the round. So there you have it, Fraser, some cracking games from around the regions, but the Big Bash isn't over yet, with preparations already going on behind me for tonight and tomorrow night's big final.
It sure is. Thank you, Jace. Jason Kemp reporting there. Well, stay with us. After the break, we'll have all the local details with Amy Stevenson. And Amy, is there any relief from the hot temperatures we saw last week in the Spencer Gulf?
There is indeed, Fraser. While it's still going to be quite warm, it'll be a nice change from the extreme heat. I'll have all the details next. Welcome back. We're still seeing some warm temperatures, 34 the top in Port Augusta. It was a cooler change in Whyalla, 29 the max there. Port Lincoln saw cooler temps getting to 26 and temps staying quite high for all other centres. To the satellite now, and cloudy skies over the South Australian coast today due to a weak low pressure system that's bringing a few showers. Clearer skies elsewhere in the state. And if you're cooling off on the water tomorrow, we'll see southerly winds shifting southeasterly up to 25 knots. Seas will reach 2.5 metres and the sun will pop up at 6:30. Taking a look at conditions for tomorrow, and the extreme heat we saw last week has gone, but temps will still reach the mid-30s in Port Augusta. A cooler change in Port Lincoln with 25 the top, while it's still going to remain quite warm in Woodnut, 35 the top there, 34 in Corn. A scorcher for those in Broken Hill tomorrow, 39 the top, and temps will cool off into the high 20s and low 30s in all other districts. Looking ahead, and it'll warm up later in the week with temps hovering around the high 20s on Tuesday for Port Lincoln and Cleve, except it's still going to be very hot in Woodnut, temps getting well into the 40s by the end of the week. Staying warmer further up the Gulf, with the mercury creeping around the 40s in Port Augusta towards the end of the week, 34 on Friday. Whyalla will also see hot temperatures return, 37 on Thursday, before hitting 41 on Friday. And we'll see temps hovering around the mid to high 30s for the next couple of days in Kadina. Port Pirie will also be in the mid-30s before reaching the low 40s towards the weekend. Similar temps in Clare over the coming days, 40 the top on Friday. But those in Broken Hill are going to have to continue to swelter into the weekend, warming up to the low 40s on Thursday and Friday. But Fraser's still very warm around the Spencer Gulf, but welcomed relief from the extreme heat we saw last week.
Welcome relief indeed. Thank you, Amy, and welcome to the team. And that's all the news this Monday. Thanks for your company. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.